million and an overall surplus of 62.7 million are estimated. The budget deck presentation will take place under the theme protecting lives, safeguarding livelihoods, and investing in growth and development. That's the theme for this year's budget presentation. So, folks, I'm giving you an opportunity. That presentation takes place at 10. So certainly we'll be out of here at around 15 minutes to the hour to get ready for the link-ups with the folks at Parliament House. But certainly we're giving you an opportunity this morning. It's an open line. What is it you're looking forward to most? What are your thoughts? What are you expecting? There's so much to be discussed, in more recent times, there's a question, and the Prime Minister, he made a reference to it in terms of things that we can expect. Conversation regarding the electricity bill that's spiraling out of control, oil and prices. That conversation, he's anticipated that the Finance Minister is going to speak on those matters this morning. But let's go to the telephone lines. Classic. Good morning. You're alive.
Morning, Joseph.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
I want to ask you, please, to give me more of the Christmas songs. Now, you play too many of the songs that walk away, where it's not Christmas season. When the season's on, we start to get the Christmas song and the vibes in it. This season's coming. Christ's birthday is coming. You play lots of songs where it's not along to Christmas. These songs, you could play them regular, yes, but you must remember, this season is, and we want to know what's going on. You never play a little Christmas song yet. You never play one of Grenada, Calypso, Bubbles, Jomo, none of them, they wouldn't come yet. You're playing in-between songs. You must play more of the Christmas song because the season's coming on and it's right here already. Now, I'm going to tell you, Sunday is the first Sunday of Advent, and we want the Christmas song. We want the How Can the Angels Sing. We want Joy to the Wall. We all these lovely songs. We have How the Angels Sing. We have Joy to the Wall. We have Christmas songs they could play that people know that the season's here. Let them lively up the place. Let them know it's here. It's Christ's birthday coming up, and we have to look out for him and be celebrating, prepare for the day when he comes. Sunday is the first Sunday of Advent. So keep playing all the Christmas songs, not the long-time songs. I know you like Celine Dion. You play lots of her songs, but she have lots of Christmas songs, and they're beautiful. And I love to hear her song. All nice Christmas carols songs. You just start playing them for me. Because what I hear, you hear all the old-time Calypso thing, and sometimes you don't play them at all. You're playing your regular thing. I know you like them regular thing, but remember, Christmas is here and the season is here. Give us all the Christmas songs. Let's make lively up and know that Christ's birthday is coming. Because we have our birthday we are celebrating too. So there are lots of songs for Christmas, so play them all. Play Bubbles and all of them, Jamo and all them who sing Calypso. They play them all, but the Christmas carol, you're not playing them. Play them for me, please. Let me hear them on the air. I'm going down and I want to listen to everything because I know about Christmas.
Okay.
And I know the songs. So please, give me some more of the Christmas songs, okay?
You take it, no
right,
problem.
We want Silent Night, we want How the Angels Sing, we want that. First Noel, we want a lot of songs. There's a lot of them. And you're leaving them out. They're too far back. You can't wait till Christmas comes to play these songs.
I'm with you.
Play them now. Sunday is the first Sunday of Advent. Please play the Christmas carols, okay?
I'm with you.
Have a blessed darling.
5 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time. It's a song of classic. So the conversation, what are your expectations for the budget presentation that takes place in just under a year? Certainly, we're waiting with bated breaths to see what relief the Finance Minister would be making mention of in his presentation. Good morning. You're alive.
Good morning, Mr. Joseph. How are you? Season's greetings to you.
Season's greetings to you, sir. Thank you. All the best to you.
I'm anticipating that the Prime Minister, the Minister of Finance, would give our pensioners a little more on the pension, because things are very, very difficult for us. So I'm anticipating that he'll mention a few more cents on our pension, Joseph. That's my contribution.
Well, I'm hoping to, because in conversation with him last weekend, he did actually highlight it. As I said, public debt, pension gratuities, they're supposed to be part of the highlight. So let's wait and see.
Okay, Mr. Joseph, thanks for talking.
We'll definitely see. Have a good one. All the best.
Thank you, Joe. Okay.
435-2041. What is it that's foremost in your mind? I know there's the issue of education. There is the cost of living. Whoa, good Lord in heaven. The cost of living, the price of foodstuff in Grenada, it is spiraling out of control. And there are a number of factors, and we know that for a fact. There are a number of factors that's given rise to that, but certainly some relief has to come from somewhere. Classic, good morning, you're alive.
Good Good morning, brother.
Good morning to you.
Season's greetings to you, darling.
Thank you. Many happy returns to you.
Thank you very much. 3 program. I want to start on the first program. I want the finance minister, my dear darling brother Bowie, Kegri Bowie, Minister Kegri Bowie. I want to put a little something on the senior citizens. Just a little. We don't want more. We won't take much. Because remember, the senior citizens paved the way. They paved the way for Grenada. Especially those who live alone and live by themselves. We want a little something and live.
Okay.
Our money. And the second point, I want the electricity. Especially those senior citizens who live alone do.
Right.
And the electricity bill will be so high. Bon Dieu. I see a senior citizen yesterday. I tell you know what they say them. She said she quarreling with the lady. I said, darling, you shouldn't quarrel. Take everything to God. She had to pay $300.
Yeah, that is indeed heart-rending. I mean, the way the electricity bills is really. I mean, it seems to be a common. It is not seems. It is a common cry among all Grenadians. And but let's see. The Prime Minister did promise that issue. They would offer some reprieve, some relief.
Yes, he promised that to watch electricity.
So let's wait and see.
Then the gas price. Oh my God.
Well, the only consolation.
The gas price for the travelers. Well, I just travel on bus.
Right.
Once a month I go and put people. Go in town and go in St. David for my medication. And to pay the town to come up, I just pay them $10. Oh God, I don't want to pay more. Too hot.
Wow. I understand. So let's wait and see.
Driving every day.
And let's indeed wait and see, because I think where the gas price is headed now, I think it's a really general concern. Because the next thing you could most likely see is that you could easily see that public transportation there could be an increase in it. And certainly, I don't think. I mean, while I could easily understand why, and it's a reasonable expectation, I really can't see how the average family can really afford to see any further increases when in fact gas salaries are not moving anywhere at all. 435-2041. Good morning to those of you that's chiming in, that has joined us via social media. Kipling Francis and the team. Michael, good morning. Lady Yulian Alexander, good morning. From Grenada to New York, sending you some love. Lady Ratmason, it's good to see you. Deslin David, indeed, it's a pleasure having you on. And please feel free, as I've intimated all over the time, if you have any questions, queries, you can feel free, post it under the chat, and I will attend to them for you. You can also send in your comments via the WhatsApp portal. Yes, you can do it via the WhatsApp portal, and once that's done, I will attend to them for you. Good morning to you. Good morning. What are your expectations? The budget just under 1 hour, and the understanding is that public debt is expected to take up the greater piece of the pie, followed by the Education, Ministry of Health, Pension and Gratuities, Finance. Interestingly enough, my anticipation is that agriculture was going to be somewhere in the top there, but I'm not seeing it. But let's see. Sometimes they say it takes up the greater piece of the pie, but the question is, it may just be a difference, maybe a few $100s, thousands of dollars. Well, we're going to see what's going to happen. I went to the supermarket the other day and I saw the prices of some basic food items, and believe me, it makes you start to wonder what next. Honestly, what next? But we have a caller that's on the line. Classic, good morning, you're live.
What a question, Mr. Cadore. Good morning, greeting. What's next? You know something, Mr. Cadore, a very interesting comment was made by your previous caller there, relative to electricity. Listen, Citizen Cadore.
Hi, go
There
ahead.
was an old I'm anti-colonialist to my mother, as the old men say. But there are certain things that the Royal Reader and the old colonialist education which I had when I was young taught certain things. Here is one of these things they taught us. Some learned, others didn't. Oh, what a tangled web you weave. When first you practice to deceive. And my brother, if you break that down, you'll see lessons upon lessons which can take one through the life. Walter Scott, 1808. Listen. We have been deceived once more by these people, these career demagogues that are ruling this country in the name of a queen. They continue to deceive us. Listen, they said that electricity prices will come down. They told us that when they took over, because that was the aim. But was it feasible then? It wasn't then, and it's not. No, it can never be even now. Because there are factors contributing to the increased electricity, but they made us believe that the white man company was making exorbitant profits, and worse yet, taking them out of the country. They were here for business, so they took their profits away. But the other thing is that cost of fuel, petroleum products on the international market, it has been so for long and continues to be and will be even longer in the future. I dare tell you this. So they knew they had a plan. The plan was to own it again so that they can make them a Ramunsi and rip off the people. That's what. But take a look at why can't it come down? Why can't the same profits that the company had been making now turn over to help the population to lower the price? Why can't that happen? The same profits were being made and maintained, but just it goes into a different pocket now. That's the difference. Brothers and sisters, do not let Mark Twain, I'll end on this. Mark Twain said, it's easier to fool people than to convince them that they have been fooled. Don't let that happen to you, brothers and sisters. Start thinking. The only way out of what is happening in this here country, brothers and sisters, is a reconstruction, a rejuvenation, a reorientation of the national state of Grenada, because as it is illegitimate, without a constitution order, without an independence order, that gives a license to whatever organized crime syndicates take possession of the quote-unquote political authority in this here country. You have to contemplate changing this latrine pamphlet of an imperial order in council of the Queen's most excellent majesty. Down with colonialism now. Have a nice day, will you, sir?
Thank you. All the best to you, sir. Have yourself a great weekend. Let's see that's to engage those of you that is on social media. Alistair says, I hate being sung negative, but this budget presentation is just talk. We've been hearing year after year with no change in our status. We keep falling back. Kilpin Francis says the budget will be an election sweetener full of unattainable expectations, music in the air of the Stooges corner for the masses. Good morning, caller. You are live.
Hi, good morning, Joe, and to all your followers.
Good morning, sir.
Before I give my ideas on the budget, I want to just express a concern. I'm very happy, and I thank God for the way the COVID situation is being managed here in Grenada this time. But I am seeing a lack of transparency. I have been defending the authorities all the time. You know, all the conspiracy theorists and all this kind of things I've been defending. But now there is a clear lack of transparency. Suddenly we have a state within a state. So the Grenada figures no longer include the Carriacou figures. Right? Over the past week we've had, I understand, 13 new cases from Carriacou. But they don't seem to be represented in the Grenada figures. Why? You know, and now I see the GIS actually putting a Carriacou dashboard. Could you imagine? GIS putting out a Carriacou dashboard, the figures of which are not reflected in our national dashboard. Why this lack of transparency? Are they trying to hide it from certain groups? Isn't Carriacou, Grenada, Do we have a state within a state? Another thing that's also happening. They stop tell us when we have new cases whether they are imported or local. So we don't know if these cases have been found in the community or if they are cases that are coming in. I think we have to be honest and upright with our people.
Well, I must commend you. There's actually two releases that is sent, and the point you made is true. So there is a condensed dashboard that is sent to the general public that has just basic information, and there's an extended one that it's normally would be I would get it off of GIS or one of those platforms. But I understand, and I share the same with and the observation is actually correct. But it's not that it isn't. It is there. But the question is whether or not
is there?
They break down.
Are there?
There are two dashboard that is sent out. There's one that comes on that has been that's blue, and there's another one that comes that gives you the breakdown in terms of the vaccine and all of those different information. My question is whether or not it makes its way to the public. But I know that information is actually there.
Well, I think the Ministry of Health is the only authority that should be giving information on COVID. We can have the government, the politicians giving their version, and the Ministry of Health, with the competent body, giving another version. It is inconsistent, it creates confusion, and it encourages this whole thing about conspiracies and lack of transparency and everything else. They should stop this.
Okay.
Give us one dashboard, please. Include Carriacou figures, because Carriacou is Grenada. It's not just a part of Grenada, it is Grenada. It's part of the state of Grenada.
I'm with you there.
Right. Now, quickly on the budget, I would hope that after this budget, this fiscal year will be 2 years after the onset of COVID. And I am hoping that we would see the beginning of the rolling of a new template for development of our country, considering what COVID has taught us in terms of with the emphasis on food security, the emphasis on improved health care and nutrition and other things like that, and the emphasis on the new industries that would not be as susceptible as, for instance, tourism and so. So I hope that what we would see, the rolling out of a new template of how we're going to go post-COVID. However, I won't be surprised to see a pre-election budget, because as we know, this fiscal year will be the last full year before elections are due. So we're going to see a lot of short-term jobs, a lot of padding, a lot of things to keep people comfortable until the election. And we would not see what we need to see, which is a serious plan for transitioning us from pre-COVID to post-COVID. That's all I'll say for today.
And while you're at this, let me just, as I did intimate to you, if you go to the Ministry of Health, their website, there is the dashboard that gives us the basic figures, and then there is a media release that is posted there. It provides those details. Total confirmed cases, the imported cases, recoveries, active cases. It gives you the debt. It gives you that breakdown there, so you can always attend to it. It's on the Ministry of Health. It's on their website. Just for your information.
We don't hear it in the news. Before we had a dashboard that told us everything. Your station does not cover that media release either.
That's not necessarily
on the dashboard.
That's not true, sir. Every morning, information is given. The basic information is given as to where. But as I said, sir, the information it is there. So it's not that it is not being given. Maybe you're not hearing it in the way that you would prefer it. But it sits on the it is on the government's website.
Just to correct one thing that you said about what I said, it was not true. I am saying to you, when you
were saying it isn't available, sir, but that's not true.
Your radio station and your media house does not quote from that release.
Sir?
Your media house quotes from the dashboard. When last have you ever told us how many imported cases? Go through all your news. When last have you told us how many imported cases we've had? You can find it out for yourself. So I don't like people to tell me that I'm not speaking the truth.
Sir, all I was saying to you, sir, you said that the information has not been made available.
To the
My
public.
response to you was, yes, it is
Through
made
you,
available.
your media.
It's been made available.
Not through your
It's
media.
not as extensive as you would want it to be, and I can understand your concerns. But the information is there, sir.
Hidden somewhere. Okay.
It's not hidden, sir. It's on the government's website that you can check every day.
Everybody in Grenada has access to that website, I guess. Wonderful. We're in
22
now.
22 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time. I mean, sometimes there's some things which I don't really quite understand. There's information that is there. People would prefer it in a different format. Some people would prefer just the basics. Some people want it to be detailed for them. But it's not right to say that it isn't been made available. That's not fair at all, because it is in fact there. We're keeping our eyes on the clock. It is 22 minutes gone past the hour. We take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back right here on Classic.
That's good.
35, just under 35 minutes. So that's the number on the inside there. Let's engage. Let's see what's happening here on social media. The finance minister should ask everyone to pray so God will feed them. Let's see how many will buy that line. Good morning, caller. You alive?
Greetings, brother JC. That's what they call you, eh?
Good morning, sir. Yes.
Yes, the listening and viewing population. Just a few points on the budget, because personally speaking, I am not in total agreement with this big hype and excitement and maybe expectation that especially the media, including yours and some persons, trying to allow or trying to make the average, the poor people make about the budget. The budget is nothing. Okay, let me put it this way: the budget is about deceit. It's about a superficial presentation. It is in terms of short term to give people more or less a little comfort, and that is more for the lower case persons. There will be some appropriate interest for the higher level status in society and professionals who are looking for a big pie. But the budget in itself is about rearranging issues. It's about rebalancing and shifting figures and hiding projects. And we can give a reference, for example, when the question was asked, and I don't think there's a clear answer on that yet, as to where the money came from for buying the grain lectures. But let me go further to say that one of the callers, a regular, caller, talk about having a template going forward on the budget. This is not a reality. In total, as he, maybe myself, would like in a genuine way. The budget is premised to a large extent these days on the Grenada Sustainable Development Plan 220 to 235. It has been done in phases. Secondly, you had asked a question, and I think, again, one of our favorite callers, Brother Rulo, about, I think you asked what next? There's nothing great coming. Nothing great coming. Based on what I talk about is very deceitful. It's about short-term gap. But let me go on to say that you also, quote, made the point that the budget, the greater percentage will be given to debt repayment. And for me, this is where the emphasis is. How we come about to paying with the debt with the foreign person? Let me tell you. We have to expect what next? That there's nothing great relief coming for the general population, especially the poor people. In terms of pension, and when I say pension here, I'm not limited.
But let me ask you, sir, so how do you determine that nothing is coming when you have not heard it?
Oh, okay.
So on what basis are you making that argument?
Well, I thought you had picked me up.
No, I'm here. You're making a lot of assertions, sir. But I think it's unfair.
Okay.
Well, there's some things I would agree with you on, but I think in all fairness, it is.
Okay.
I would think you would wait to see, and then you can make an evaluation.
Okay, let me make 2 points based on what you asked me. One, my evaluation and what I'm saying here, the assertion, is based on history. It's based on experience. Budget is not just it happening in recent times, It's not the first or the second or third time we have been budget. And we have seen over the years the pattern. We have seen it's like election campaigning, it's like election manifesto. We have not seen what is being put in the budget or in the manifesto have taken place.
And
secondly, also we have been hearing many persons from various sectors, and here I'm talking about the sectors such as the lower one, agriculture, and I think I mentioned that earlier. You mentioned agriculture. Agriculture, you have in civil society saying that they have suggested certain things for the budget to be put in the budget, and it's not realized. So on that basis, I'm making this assumption. Secondly, on the other hand, I'm saying, based on what we know is the pattern, and you had mentioned it, most of the funding will be going towards paying debt, foreign debt. And I'm linking that issue with some of the things that we say we want to look out for this year, which the Prime Minister more or less alluded to Sunday gone, pension. And we also
would not be great news if pensioners they are given, they are told.
It's not the first time so-called great news has been announced before,
I'm asking you, see, there is what has happened in the past, sir, which I could appreciate, but I think sometimes it's unfair to the process. If you stating based on history, yes, but it would not be correct to say it's not going to happen because you have not heard it. If you can say, you can make an argument that you're waiting to see whether it is going to be fulfilled, and then after it's presented, you can say, well, hello, Joe, then I can say, okay, fair enough. But to say nothing good is going to come out of it, I think that's not, I'm not necessarily going to.
Okay.
I'm not going to buy into that.
Let me put it within context. So let me I hope you will get to know and all that.
No, you want me to get what you want me to get.
No, you say you're not. Okay.
In the context of what I'm saying is that the budget has not yet been presented.
Yes.
So while there's certain things you probably may not buy into, I'm saying in all fairness to the process, to say that nothing's going to come out of it, it's sort of premature.
I'm getting you.
And that's just my point.
Nothing. It's not only about nothing will come out of it, Nothing good. The fact remains that.
Okay.
Yeah, the fact remains. I can make a statement to you, and then for tomorrow, and I can come and fulfill that statement which I made today for you tomorrow, but not in a genuine sense that will meet the real objective. That is the framework under which I'm operating. So yes, there will be a statement about oil and gas. There will be a statement about pension. There will be a statement about maybe agriculture. But I am saying it will be more or less just to tease the people, get them to accept certain things, but in the long term, it comes as if they have not received anything.
Okay, sir.
And I will try to end by saying, I'm linking all of this with the fact that the greater part of the budget presentation will be linked with the foreign to pay debt. Okay? And the whole idea about contracted workers in public service. The whole idea about pension, and when I say pension, I'm not limited only to public service. I'm talking about the NI situation, which for years poor people have been talking about, the low monthly thing, whereby actuary reports make recommendation to increase this thing. So a lot of issues which, yes, people will want. That's why I say it's an election budget.
And that's why I continue to say, sir, that in order to while you may have your assertions, I think it would be premature for us not to wait. And then after that, we can then say, well, listen, I made my assertions. This is what I'm thinking. But as to say publicly, nothing was going to come out of it. Then that's a different argument. So if you're saying that's what you feel, but you're saying it as though you know that to be the gospel truth, and that can't be. Okay, sir.
It's coming out of it, but it's what coming. That is
it's what's going to come.
Yeah.
Time is going to tell.
Yeah. All the best.
You take care. We're keeping our eyes on the clock. Remember, the budget presentation will be delivered by the finance minister in just under 30 minutes from the Parliament House in Mount Weldale. 452041. Tim, I'm not sure what happened, but I'm not seeing my Facebook feed. It was up earlier on. I'm not sure if something went wrong with it, but I was engaging the folks in there and the feed. I'm not seeing it now. Classic, good morning, you're live.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
I want to talk to the Minister of Finance.
Go ahead, please.
I know he's supposed to have these things done on paper, but I hope and pray that time don't pass on him, that he could address the oil thing for us, please, because he in charge of the oil deal. So I'm waiting to hear what he will say on that situation, because I listen to the Prime Minister and I can understand what he's telling me. The next thing, I would like them to address the high cost of living. I heard thank God they will put some money to keep the gas price a little lower. Because I remember when NDC put some money to keep the 20-pound cylinder. Thank God if they didn't do that, I'll know the 20-pound cylinder might have reached $80 by now. So I want them to put a little money for the regular grocery and the shelf, like the flour, the sugar, the milk, the adding everything. If they could put some money, I'll drop the tax and keep that grocery lower for us, please, to give us a little break, to help us with the hard prices, the harsh prices, and
right.
So this is the two things, waiting and listening to see what they could do for us.
Great. Thank you for your contribution. 25 minutes on to the hour. It's to the point. It's an open line. What are you looking forward to hear? What's your anticipation? And I know sometimes some of us, we have we hold our own position on a lot of things we don't trust, because we think historically we've been fed and given a raw deal. And that I understand, and I could reasonably understand why you'd probably not trust anything. But in all fairness to the process, sometimes you may just not, you may not get something from it. But somebody, they may open it, they may accept it with open arms. Maybe you never hear, or a free barrel program, something of the sort. It might be temporary, it might be short term, but it may offer some relief. I don't know. I think. And that's what I encourage all Grenadians to be part of the process. Listen, pay attention so that you can be part of the conversation that on matters that affects your life and the life of your family. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Yes, Joe. Good morning.
Good morning.
Joe, Grenadians seem to be either sleeping or in a coma or dead. I don't know where the spiritual leaders are and what they are doing. But if we have not yet seen or realized that this nation is going down the tubes because of evil that is being practiced throughout the land. And we need to turn to God. This is what God is calling Canadians to do for more than 5 years now, God is calling Grenadians to repent because He wants to save the nation. He wants to deliver the nation from the things that are happening and the way we have been taken. God wants to pull us out from the hole, from the precipice we are heading towards. God wants to do so much things for us. But we are not praying sufficiently. Those who call themselves Christians, they become more political than anything else, and they forget God and put God on a shelf somewhere. But if we do not turn to God, budget or no budget, we are going to continue to be on the edge of the precipice or in the hole where we are placed, where we are being put. Because what is happening in Grenada, what is Grenada is led by, is not God. So we have to repent, ask God for mercy, ask God for forgiveness, ask God for grace to cope with what is happening, and seek His face for great deliverance. He said the love of money is the root of all evil. And we hear in billions of dollars on a budget, and we feel big figures, so we're feeling good. You have money, but we tell you the love of money is the root of all evil. What I see we getting in that budget is another oil deal. We found oil somewhere, and that is what we're going to get again, because the next year is election. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. 452041. We go right back to the telephone. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Hello, good morning, brother. How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
All right, thank God for His wonderfulness because we got up this morning.
Indeed.
Right. What I want to say, brother, this state budget is a spin budget, right? When I say a spin budget, is a tongue again. It's just to twist the tongue from this side to the north side. So if you could speak patois, you speak patois. If you can't speak patois, you speak the broken English as we're speaking. And if you can't speak that, you speak the French. That is the budget we will get. So who have sense, understand. Who don't have sense, just remain so. You understand? That is what they're coming with. They don't come with nothing new for us. Right? It's nothing beneficial for our children because remember the Prime Minister said the debt that you have the money that the thing is, he won't be there to pay for it. The grandchildren will fall into it. He said so with his own mouth. So remember where we're going. Have a nice day, brother.
Thank you. All the best to you, sir. 4352041. That is the number on the inside. Let's see. Kipling says in every budget there would always be some good things in it. Question is for who? And how many and why? Good morning, Gail, Albert, and yes, and when. And it says, Ms. Jeremiah, some church leaders are speaking, or, so get it right. So you say you're a Christian, speak out and do what's right. Imagine if we flour more expensive than the ones imported from St. Vincent and elsewhere. And actually, that is a harsh reality. The cost of foodstuff. Yes, there is a basic basket of goods that is eliminated from that VAT isn't applied to. Maybe the question is whether or not, and while VAT isn't applied to it, the price, by virtue of the price itself, and the fact that the cost of living generally and salaries are not going anywhere, believe me, it puts everybody in a bind. We go back to the telephone lines. Classic, good morning.
Yes, my brother, I will come back again. With the flour, we have flour here making breadfruit and everything. And you know why this in Grenada higher than those things that coming in? The electricity. That's what you have to focus on. The electricity. Because you're getting the potato, the manioc flour, and all the set of things. What we want the electricity.
Yeah, and I agree with that, Miss. I agree with that caller. But sometimes when you consider, okay, electricity, but you're buying these raw products and it's $5 for a pound of potato. You have to buy 4 mangoes in tongue for $5. So that has nothing to do. That has nothing to do with electricity. Yes, electricity. The cost of electricity is going to affect the price of the ultimate cost based on production. But there's some things that is just, I don't know. The price of everything in Grenada is just spiraling out of control. I mean, basic things I see. For example, you're going to buy limes. The lime is just beers. 6 lime in a bag, and they tell you $2. I'm like. Classic, good morning, you're live. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning, JC.
Good morning.
Yes, and thanks for taking my call. Now, Mr. Cadore, if this nation is going down the tube, I'm trying to figure out how come countries like with so much wrong and bad things happen, they accept. How come countries like America, England, and Canada still exist if Grenada is going down the tube? Now, the other point is that, Mr. Cadore, if sin is sin, your sin is the last sin I have to worry about. You understand? I have to worry about mine. You have to make sure that I make myself right with the Most High. The other point is this, brother. We live in a democracy. People talking about election budget. Mr. Cadore, sometimes I find people, they try to make people like me feel like I don't have sense. Listen, we live in a 5-year cycle in this democracy. So I find the government have to be very stupid not to have an election budget, whether it's this year or next year. They will have to be stupid. The other point is that, Mr. Cadore, we live in a democracy. We are free to complain and critique. But in Grenada here, the majority of people that is criticizing this government, they are in the minority. They are in the minority. So we are listening to them, because they have a voice. But what they must realize is that there is a 5-year cycle where where we have the opportunity to choose. And all those who complain on a daily basis, when the time comes to choose, they falls in the minority. They falls in the little bit. They falls in the insignificant amount. Thank you for the time and have a great weekend.
Thank you. All the best to you, sir. 435-20-2041. That is the number on the inside. Eunice says, I'm really in sympathy with you, the people in Grenada. It's really terrible. May God help you. 14 minutes onto the hour, Grenada. We go back to the telephone lines. Classic, good morning. You're a live caller.
Joseph, the bottom line is this. Keith Mitchell and Gregory Boyne, they say so much thing about this WRB and electricity. Watch, if I go to say them every day, it's a deterrent to business. They come complaining, it's worse in the car, all kind of things. They promised, Keith Mitchell and Boyne promised that when the government take over the electricity, that electricity rates will go down. Yes, Mr. Gentleman, put it in your pipe and smoke it. The amount of thing they say, no, they take it back, or whatever, how you want to use it. People are alleging that electricity not even 10 or 15%, but is crippling. So what happened? That is what are you to say? You can't. Why do you have to defend that? That is indefensible. That is what you promised. Because you make so much drama about this electricity. Though you take it back, you're talking about this, that, and all kind of a thing. Bring it down for the people, the poor people of this country. I mean, even though you want to say bring about 10%, that's it, but not tripling, and people say pay all this amount. And so the bottom line, put it in your pipe and spoken to Keith Mitchell and Boyne. You all said enough. Bring down the cost of electricity. And I was hearing a guy was saying the other morning on the program that no, they have more people on the seed program, and the government is doing so well. Welfare program. I would be ashamed because if I am in office for 40 years and the amount of poor people is going in the country, which means the country is poor. It's poorer than when I take it over. So boasting and say more people now on the seed program is not a plus in your pocket. It means that the rate of poverty in the country is good and the people need it more. And also, I find that they should bring up the thing is now the actuaries talk about the NIS pension that needs to be increased. I mean, come on, and then we want to know how much money in the transformation fund. We want to know about the money with Sheldon Scott with the $70,000. You can't take $70,000 to pay your personal bill and nothing come out of it. You know how much that $70,000 could I do? Keith Mitchell and Boy, we want to know what is the situation with Sheldon Scott. These are the things that people have issues about and genuine concern. want to pay back that money, you can't take. That's taxpayers' money, you know. Come on, these public servants and them. You know, and Joseph, finally, people don't understand that once once you get elected and the taxpayers are paying you, you're a public servant. Keith Mitchell is the head of the public servant. He's a public servant. Mayor Motley is a public servant. So is Rowley and all these people. And these people are accountable to us. Mr. Put it in your pipe and smoke it. We are paying their salaries. And they're accountable to us. We are the employer. So they have to do better than that and care about the people. And stop focusing on tourism alone. Focus and look at the health situation. Even in Carriacou, you're there for 37 years and Carriacou have an X-ray machine. And Carriacou people have to be running down to Grenada all the time. And you're jumping up and balling. You're 15 seats all the time, back and forward. What is your legacy? Try and put people first. Look at the health situation in the hospital there. When people go in the hospital, you have to get prescription and bring it outside and bring it for the people. X-ray machine not working, this not working. PRG had a very good health system, and even Gary too. What and all those nurses that do the work. These people are the people that keeping people safe, you know. The nurses and doctors that going out and sacrificing their life to keep Grenada safe. It's not Keith Mitchell and Boyne and no other body. Give them permanent status.
Thank you, caller.
Could reward them.
I'm with you.
Stop defending the indefensible because you're just fucking stupid. Bring down the cost of electricity because you make so much thing about the Grand Lake. Bring it down now. Bring it down right now. People are hurting. Even your own people are now calling and talking about it.
All the best. Thank you. 10 minutes on to the hour, folks. We have to leave the conversation here for now. But certainly, we say we'll wait and see. For me, I'm one that believe in waiting and see. Certainly and that's why, as the caller made the point, and that's why sometimes you hear people, folks, you call people will indicate that and me for particular, I like to encourage people to pay attention, listen for themselves, so that you can be part of the conversation. When you've listened and you've heard, then you can say authoritatively, this is what was said, and as such you can be part of a conversation. And that's how our leaders are going to be held accountable. Not when you get it second-hand and third-hand information and you're not sure what is it that was being said. I encourage you from 10 o'clock, just under 10 minutes, to listen to the budget. Something may not make sense to you, but do like my old friend, write it down. Write the figures down. Look at them. And the good thing is that Google is there. Write it down. Be part of a process. Educate yourself. Keep yourself informed. 10 minutes on to the hour. This is where we leave the conversation for now on To The Point for today, the 26th day of November. For those of you that's on social media, Lewis, Alexander, the entire Facebook team, so long. Have a great one. Enjoy the weekend.